The Treaty of Versailles, 1919. Just weeks after the unveiling of Wilson's 14-point peace plan, the Treaty of Versailles talks began here at the Palace of Versailles outside Paris. The conference was attended by the Big Four, representing the Allied powers: Woodrow Wilson, President of the United States; David Lloyd George, Prime Minister of England; Georges Clemenceau, the French Premier; and Vittorio Orlando, Prime Minister of Italy. The European leaders wanted Germany to bear the financial brunt of the war and pay reparations, that is, payments to the Allied powers. They also wanted secret spoils of war treaties honored. These demands violated principles in Wilson's 14 points. Wilson tried to bring a moderating influence to the meetings, but the European powers had their way.
The Treaty of Versailles imposes enormous crippling indemnities on Germany, which is understandable because the French had suffered a tremendous loss of manpower and economic goods during the First World War, and also they were still smarting from the resounding defeat they took in the Franco-Prussian War. So they wanted back their territory, but they also wanted large indemnities.
The Treaty of Versailles was finally signed June 28, 1919. America's Secretary of State, Robert Lansing, had this reaction to the treaty.
The terms of peace appear immeasurably harsh and humiliating.
The treaty called for these measures. Germany was disarmed, forced to admit full responsibility for the war, and made to pay $6,600 million in reparations.
So they imposed very stiff penalties on Germany. The difficulty was that Germany was not in an economic condition to meet these demands. So the government which followed the Treaty of Versailles was weak, very unpopular, and had to resort to peculiar economic policies like inflating the currency, which had catastrophic consequences for German society, which made possible the development and the rise of fascist movements like National Socialism.
Germany's colonies and the Ottoman Empire were divided among the Allied nations. Most importantly, for Woodrow Wilson, the treaty included an agreement creating the League of Nations.
Although Woodrow Wilson wanted the victorious parties to give up on reparations and give up on a harsh, punitive peace with Germany, ultimately France and England got their way. A harsh peace was imposed upon Germany, but it turned out to be a very short-sighted policy which caused far more difficulties than it solved.
Congress rejected President Wilson's 14-point peace plan because of Article 10 that would have created a League of Nations. But as part of the Treaty of Versailles, the Allied powers did create the League of Nations without America's participation. The harshness of the terms of the treaty imposed on Germany did, in fact, have the result feared by some, a negative backlash.
Fascism is made popular by the enormous dissatisfaction that comes with the results of the Treaty of Versailles.
A number of extremist political parties sprung up. One of them, the German Workers' Party, emerged in 1921 with Adolf Hitler as its leader. The aftermath of World War I eventually led to World War II in Europe.